Do you want to try something weird and see how it sounds with headphones first? And then we can take them off if we don't like them so much.
Go on then.
Ah.
I've got this thing where I need the wire on the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. Cool.
Little bit of...
How does it feel?
Yeah, fine.
Feels good? Should we use them?
I don't know.
I think we should take them off.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we should take them off.
Don't you feel like you're in a tunnel?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It's hard when you're recording vocals as well. It's just like you feel like not in the room.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's only easier for me when I'm playing keys.
Yeah.
Because I just love the texture of the sounds coming back into your ears. Yeah. But I think it must obviously be difficult for you when you're trying to record vocals. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Frankie, this is such a delight to have you on the pod.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into everything. The most random things, the most fun things, whatever it is. You know, when we met each other not that long ago, I think we really hit it off because we seem to have the same level of passion for music. Obviously, you being a vocalist, I being a keys player. And I think we were just able to jam, really. You know, when you meet people that are musical, you tend to want to have a jam with them.
Yeah.
Because that's how you gauge energies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we talked and we said, hey, let's have a jam. That's going to be the best way for us to see how we are around each other. And we planned to do one song.
Yeah.
We ended up doing about 12. And a lot of them were on the spot that day when we got there. You're like, can you play this song? Yes, can you sing that song? Mm-hmm. And we just jammed. And it was the best thing ever. So from that moment on, I knew you'd be a great person to talk to about anything, really. Whether podcast or non-podcast, whatever. So thanks for coming.
Thank you. It was a good day. The band that was next door, we were jumping on their tunes a little bit.
They had some nice tunes. Yeah. And they had like some nice players as well, like some nice musicians. Mm-hmm. But it's just because they were so, like, the music was so empowering and loud. And the music studio wasn't well padded.
I know.
Yeah, I won't be going back there again. You know, I said that 3 times before we went there. But when you booked it, I was like, I'll go for Frankie. I went just for you, you know.
Oh, thank you.
And we had quite the experience, didn't we?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to name any names, but it's just like, flipping hell, man.
I will trust your expertise next time on where we should go.
Well, you'd planned for us to go somewhere else. We haven't quite got to it yet. We haven't gone to this rehearsal room that we're going to go to next. But I think the one you planned on going to next is quite nice.
Yeah, it does.
I think it's somewhere in Gateshead, isn't it? Or yeah. Rehearsal rooms are very essential to the process because we can't rehearse in our houses because you won't be able to sing as good as you want to.
I do, but I feel like I'm disturbing everybody else.
Yeah.
Especially because once a neighbour shouted.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
I just asked if I was allowed to swear.
Yeah.
He said, shut the fuck up, singing that song. And I was so offended.
Yeah.
I heard it. I was like, and do you know what? I wasn't even singing properly. I was just singing along to the TV. It wasn't even, I wasn't putting effort in.
Listen, can I just say on the pod, you're a, I don't know how to say it. Let me think about how to say it first. Okay. Your gift with music, with singing is a blessing. You're, I don't know how to like describe you really, but one thing I can definitely say is you're so passionate and that adds so much to it. Like your desire to wanting to put a smile on people's faces by performing and singing is so admirable. Do you know what I mean? So when I was in that room with you that day when we were jamming together, one thing that I noticed is that you just wanted to be there. Every note put a smile on your face. Yeah, people can probably see that smile now, you know? So I kind of wanted to know how you even got into singing. Like, were you one of those kids that was like straight out the womb singing? You know, like, when did you get into it?
I've sang my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love singing and it's like a real sense of comfort.
Yeah.
Like therapy, I suppose, as well. It's the one thing I can do where I lose time. I'm just like 3 hours later, I'm starving. What time is it? But it's because I've been so focused on singing and just feeling it. But yeah, ever since I was little, I was like, I'm going to be a singer.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but when you grow up and things happen in your life, different things impacted what I believed and how I saw myself. And I just went quiet.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes that's part of it. You have to suffer a little bit.
Yeah. You do have to suffer.
But yeah, I love singing. Even now, when I perform, like one of the greatest compliments people can give us is, we can tell you love doing it. They'll ask us about it and I'm like, I love doing it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, no. And I'm like, that is enough. That is enough. I love eating and I love singing.
Good combination. You can't go wrong with eating and creating art.
And the difference in, if you look after your body properly, if you have a routine and you feed yourself good food and you exercise and you're really like in tune with your body, the difference in the sound that you make is
immense.
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable.
I seem to remember you saying the last time we talked that you run a lot.
Yeah. I don't love running, but I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On average, how many miles do you run a week?
It's not even that. It's just yoga's my main thing that I do consistently.
Right.
And it is an expense, but I always think I would spend this money on clothes or like other pointless things that I don't really get anything out of. The running, it's more of a punishment, if I'm being honest. Because I want to know that I can do hard things, and that is something that I find difficult. But when I get to the end of it, I go,
yeah, I did it.
Look what I've done.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've pushed myself in runs before where I've literally cried at the end, and I'm like, why have I done this? Oh yeah, it's because I wanted to tell myself I could do something hard, but I already know that. So why did I have to put myself through that? It's a weird relationship. Running.
Yeah. It's like if you do the more difficult tasks, then everything else gets easier.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I spent some time in the sauna the other day, and then I was having cold showers. And then so what I was doing was I'd have a cold shower and then go into the sauna, and then I did that 3 times, and I felt euphoric afterwards.
Did you?
Oh my God. I felt the best I've ever felt in my life. To the point where 2 weeks from now, we've now booked me and my friend to do it again, but we're going to Blythe. Right. So you get like a dip in the sea and sauna.
On the beach?
On the beach, yeah. So what we're going to try and do is, I'm trying to convince my friend, she's not very keen on this, but what we're going to try and do is we're going to run fast.
Okay.
So just like get sweating a bit, all right? Hopefully the weather is nice. We're going to go running for a bit and then go into the sea.
Okay.
Get that cold plunge, get your body just shocked, activate those cold shock proteins, and then straight into the sauna.
I bet it feels lush.
Yeah. And then we're going to come back after that, after doing that for about 2 hours, and then we're going to do a podcast afterwards.
2 hours?
Yeah,
Wow.
And then we're going to do a podcast and just see whether it makes us tired, whether it rejuvenates us and just amplifies the body. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what I'm going to feel, because the last time we did it 2 days ago, it was more just a relaxing sensation. You just wanted to chill. I really slept good that night. But I wonder what the impact would be doing it at the start of the day.
I was going to say, what time of day is this?
So we're going to be doing this. So the run is at 10 in the morning.
Okay. Do you think that's early?
I mean, not like early like that. Because I normally do the podcast at 1 p.m. I normally podcast at like 1 p.m. on a Saturday.
Fair enough.
So I usually, so it's like, 10 o'clock is nice, you know. Hopefully I would have slept good the night before. Because I struggle with sleep at the moment, you know. But yeah, it's like, so you feel like you get benefits from exercising with your singing. Obviously, it helps with stamina, doesn't it? Yeah.
And it's just like pushing your lungs to breathe as much as you can. I love it when, like, the day after yoga, when I breathe really, like, dramatically, I guess, I can feel all the muscles in between my ribs, and I'm like, this is good.
Do you ever do any, like, breath tests, like holding your breath for like maybe a minute or 2? Have you ever done that?
No, not really. There's definitely more exercises that I can do, like breathing and singing and that kind of thing. But it's a muscle, and I know that you should exercise your voice. But I really don't do a lot of that. I just rely on it. Yeah.
How long do you reckon you can hold your breath for?
I don't know.
Should we find out? Yeah, let's do a test.
I think like a minute and a half.
Okay,
is that a lot? Is that like athlete level?
I don't think I can do a minute even.
20 seconds.
Hey, don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. I think I can manage half an hour. No, half. No. Half a minute.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Right, all right then. Let's try.
All right, let's try. All right, cool. All right. So for those watching at home or listening, please do not try this at home. All right?
Why not?
Get
them to do it. I want to hear everyone's results.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everyone, follow along. Yeah. So we're gonna set a timer now. Let's see. You ready for this? Okay. Oh man. So how are we gonna know when you tap out? Just tap the table or tap the table, right?
When you start breathing again.
Okay.
Don't faint.
Okay,
I don't know any first aid.
So and are we just gonna like and then hold it like that, yeah?
Yeah.
And then when we're done, tap.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
1.
Ready?
2. 3.
No, I tapped out at 40. 43 seconds. That's wild. Wow. Talk about is that so you done 43 seconds. That's really impressive.
I don't care what it is. I just have to win.
Is that what it is? I could tell that you just wanted to beat me. I could tell. So if I had kept going, you would have died in this studio just trying to beat me.
But there's this thing about singing, right? Where you take in, it's not like as much air as you can, but this is just to prove my point. So take in as much air as you can. And obviously the sound is on the out breath, isn't it? So it's about slowly like trickling the breath so that it lasts a really long time for whatever phrase you're trying to get out. If you're nervous and you're not breathing well, because you're like...
You're going to, yeah.
That's really difficult to sing.
Do you ever get nervous when you're... Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All the time. Actually, more so, I think the more that you progress, the more that you learn and the higher the standard you have for yourself.
For sure.
So,
yeah. When you were growing up and you started listening to music, do you remember the first maybe couple of artists that inspired you that you wanted to be like, that you heard maybe on the radio? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And there was this song, Queen of the Night.
Right.
Do you know it? And
I've probably heard it. I'm not good with like titles and stuff.
I can honestly picture myself in like my pajamas, 5-year-old, in the middle of the living room. I had this fireplace and I thought that was the stage.
Yeah.
So I would perform at the fireplace and I'm like, 'cause I'm the queen of the night. like this tiny little girl.
Yeah.
I really believed it. That, her, Toni Braxton.
For sure.
Celine Dion, even Barry White. Like proper powerhouses.
Yeah, but Celine Dion, all my days.
Yeah. Oof, she's got a documentary coming out. Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought she would have didn't she have a biopic made about her once, like a while ago or something? Or maybe am I making this up?
I'm not sure.
Wow. Yeah. So that's what you grew up on.
Yeah. Then you start to choose your things, don't you? Because that's kind of like what your parents were into.
Yeah.
And then it was things like Avril Lavigne, remember her? She had such an attitude, Pink.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera.
Ooh.
I remember being like 11-year-old and begging for a pair of tight black leather pants with the crotch cut out.
Did you dye your hair blonde as well?
My parents were like, no. I wanted to wear them for school. I had boxing boots and I used to wear like a little mini skirt. I thought I was...
you tied that, yeah.
But no, I wanted the dreadlocks, but I wasn't allowed that.
You weren't allowed that, no. How about, did Amy Winehouse ever make it in there?
Yeah, eventually when I got a bit older, I think.
I think Amy Winehouse is, because me and you are similar ages. But I think, obviously, in our era growing up, we understood her the older we got. Yeah. Because we understood what she was going through.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, you're like, you think she's weird. But you get older and you understand that the industry is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things stacked up against you.
Yeah.
So it's easy to fall into the habits of doing drugs and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I know. I remember when everything happened with her and like there was a documentary and it showed you some home videos from when she was this like pure child and she was singing happy birthday to one of her friends and she was so shy. Her friends were like, go on, you're such a good singer. And she was like, I don't want to. Just like this tiny little voice that was so beautiful and pure.
Unique.
Yeah.
Nothing sounds like, no one sounds like her, that I can think of, really.
Even now, I don't know if you're the same, but I'll hear songs when I'm out and about, if people cover them, or I'm like in a bar or whatever, I'm like, get it off. Because it's just...
It's not, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. It's got to be Amy or nothing.
Yeah. And did you play any instruments growing up?
Yeah, I did have a piano.
Yeah.
I saved so much money to get that. And I remember like spending it. My parents were like, that is literally all the money you've got in your savings account. You do know. And I was like, I really want it.
Yeah.
And I taught myself a lot of things, but there was no technique involved whatsoever. I just listened.
Just listen.
And I can still bash a few keys now, but it's nothing special.
Yeah. That's, it's like, and did you have anyone mentoring you? Like, did you have maybe anyone at school that was like pushing you in that sort of line of creativity, or was it just always you trying to do it yourself?
Yeah, but when you have the school plays and the choirs for like Christmas and stuff.
You'd
like
put
that,
your hand up that you want to do it.
I was always like, "Wow,
let's go."
Nobody else is.
Yeah, especially because all the other kids are
fight.
usually like a bit shy. They don't want to do it anyway.
Yeah, I would want like the main role. I'd want to be the loudest. I would literally be in the middle of the stage. Yeah. When I got to high school and they did like these full scale productions where you had to remember lines and perform for like 2 hours, it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a teacher. I always wore jewelry at school. I loved like my nice earrings and like honestly like not a lot, but like little things like this.
Yeah.
And the teacher was like constantly, take those off. You need to conform and be like everyone else. Is the uniform policy for a reason. It went on and on and on. And I remember once he was like, if you don't take the bracelet off, I will ask that you are removed from the school production. And I was like, it's just a bit of jewelry.
Yeah.
But I was like,
you took it off. You conformed to Hollywood in your school.
Yeah.
to the powers that be.
Honestly.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But you would though, because you love it so much. That's a very good sort of like story, analogy, metaphor, if you want, for like when you get to a part in your career where everything has gone well and you're sat in a room and someone says, Frankie, welcome. We've been following your journey. Okay. In order for you to get to the next level, you have to do this, this, and this. How bad do you want it? And then you go, what do I have to do? Right? And then you're sat there like, this is everything I want. I'm going to sign a big deal. I'm going to tour the world. I'm going to perform arenas. I'm going to do Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to do all these big shows. But what after that again?
Sell your soul.
Yeah, for how much? How much you talking?
Yeah.
It's like so many musicians don't make it because a lot of them are too strong-willed, are too confident that it doesn't matter that I sell out. I just want to create art that reaches mostly me and anyone that cares to listen. I don't care for your millions. At the end of it all, but it's not everyone that does this. It's more convenient for some people to make those choices. It's hard for me to say because I've never been offered a deal. Maybe when I get into that room, I don't know what I'll do, but I'd hope that the person that I am shines through, which is, not selling out. You can't sell out. I don't know.
I know. But then the people that do sell out and do all these tours, they're a commodity, they're a product.
Yeah, 100%.
Rather than being true and honest to... It depends.
It depends on what you're being asked as well, though. Like, so if you get into that room and you're just like, oh yeah, you fucking sell your soul. I'm like, fuck off, man. Really? So it's real. So the Illuminati is real then. That's what you're saying. I thought this was all a myth. You're proving it to me that it's real. Like, can't we just do music and not have to fuck anyone? Or get fucked by anyone? Do you know what I mean?
God.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? Because...
It would be, and that, do you know what it is? I'll be really honest with you as well. That's probably like one of the struggles that I've had getting musicians. It's like,
damn, yeah.
They want something more than the work relationship, and I'm not there for that. So as soon as you assert your boundaries, people drop off.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like, obviously I can totally understand it from your point of view, but also even as a man, we have to worry now, like, because I'm looking at the news and I'm seeing things about Didi, right? So it's not even just women that...
Who's Didi?
P. Diddy.
Oh, right. Okay,
Have you heard about him and what's going on?
No, what's happening? I was just thinking about Stormy Daniels and Trump. But no, what's happening?
So P. Diddy has been in the news lately for just, obviously there's the abuse of Cassie. He abused Cassie a lot.
Yeah.
But also there's sort of like online allegations that he may have been grooming Usher, Meek Mill, Justin Bieber. Obviously, I can't confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
These are just things that I'm seeing online. But if this is true that he'd groomed a lot of rappers, male rappers and singers such as Usher and Bieber and Meek Mill, and I mean, at one point there was an audio that came out that was like an alleged audio being recorded of him having sex with Meek Mill, and it sounded horrible. So my point is, of course, it definitely happens to women a lot, but men too aren't safe, because if you're a talented, young, good-looking guy, you get into the industry, there's just as many men that probably want to like molest and sleep with you as well, which is terrifying, you know?
I know.
Because then you get into that room and they go, what are you willing to do? And I'm like, nothing. I just want to do podcasting.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to people. And then they go, do you want 50 mil or not? And then you go, no, keep your fucking money.
And it happens over a long period of time.
It's like they fly you on a private jet first to Monaco, put you in a nice house, and then your rooms are next to each other's. And then at first you're sitting on the couch with them where they just kind of rubbing your back and you're thinking, that's my boy.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times people get drugged.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that people do.
Thinking of is Baby Reindeer. Have you seen that?
Baby Reindeer. So what's your take on that entire show?
Disturbing.
Yeah, right. In one word, it's dark.
Yeah, it is, definitely. People have got crazy opinions.
Yeah.
I think it happens.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it definitely does. And I think that, so when I talk to my boys about it, I always say, look, let me just play devil's advocate. I'm not saying that this is what I think. Okay. But if Fiona Harvey had been Jessica Alba, would you let her harass you? Because like, and honestly, 90% of the boys that I spoke to were like, hell yeah. It's true. No, think about that for a second. Think about it for a second. I'm not, okay, the whole concept of 50 Shades of Grey is basically, what's his name, Mr. Grey, or what's his name? Christian Grey harassing a girl that...
Trolling,
and women hate her. They love that book. They're like, oh my God, this is romantic. And I'm like, this is harassment. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sexy billionaire. No, sorry. Sexy, good-looking billionaire.
Yeah.
Pass. Harass me. Jessica Alba. Fiona Harvey. Fucking Netflix. Fucking, you know what I mean? Netflix TV series, you know? It's like, I'm not saying, it's inexcusable. If it's true, it's inexcusable for anyone, man to woman, woman to man. But I just think that we are sometimes our biggest hypocrites. Because even me as a man, as strong as I try to be, if a really beautiful, attractive woman, you know, starts to act a certain kind of way, there's a level of it that I might allow just because I'm just blown away by her beauty. And I'm weak. Yes, I'll admit that I'm weak, guys. I'm working on myself. I'm a work in progress. But right now, I'm still weak. It just has to be the right girl.
Oh, God, honestly.
Isn't that true? Like, am I...
Yeah, I think in Baby Reindeer, he allowed it because...
Oh, boy, he's been through.
He needed validation from anybody. It just happened to be her.
Yeah.
And you definitely attract where you're at.
For sure.
He was down there.
He was down and bad.
Yeah.
And he just got attention. And attention is a drug as well.
Yeah.
You know, someone that would listen to and talk to you. Because when no one else, especially like his boys at work, were laughing and making fun of him. Everyone made a joke of him.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, that analogy of when you're sat in that room and they're offering you your life's biggest opportunity, what you do. When he was hanging out with that TV producer, the only reason why he kept going back was because he had a dream. Not because
he had some hope.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think, obviously, he wasn't enjoying the ordeal, but he just kept thinking, if I maybe get through this, maybe I'll be able to finally leave this bottom of the pile where I'm at to get into where I need to be. Do you know what I mean?
And a lot of life is like that, though.
It's
don't
crazy.
You think?
It's crazy. So you kind of really have to be disciplined and really content with where you are. You just have to be content with where you are.
Yeah.
And like say no.
Yes. What I was going to say is the reason that is difficult is because I think, like, what I've learned about myself in the last couple of years is you really don't get anywhere with this, like, protection up all the time. You have to be able to let your guard down and allow for things to come in. And it's really hard, especially, I don't know, I have grown up with a shell around us for a really long time. And to let that down, it feels like a big risk.
Yeah.
I talk to my sister all the time. She's like, I just don't get it. What do you mean you've got your guard up? And I'm like, girl, let me tell you.
Yeah.
She's so confident and she's got like a totally different aura. It does matter what you think about yourself.
Yeah.
Where your confidence like comes from. It's here. It's not external.
Yeah. It comes from the inside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The inside has to be good for it to reflect on the outside.
Yeah.
Where do you think, if you want to talk about it, where do you think that sort of like initial putting your guard up came from? Was it like some experiences that you just went through that you just kind of like, listen, I don't trust people? Because I can definitely tell you mine, but I'll let you go first.
Yeah. It's not that I don't trust people. It's absolutely not that. It's I love people. And they have
take
used
advantage.
that as a vulnerability before. And I was talking to my best friend about this recently, and I'm like, I know I said this nice thing about that person and now I've changed my mind. Like, this is why.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't think of it as a negative. She was like, it's such a beautiful thing that you see all the good things about people, that you see a little bit of shining light in everybody, even if they're quite unlovable.
Yeah.
And when she said that to me, I calmed down a little bit because I thought, oh yeah, I am a nice person. It's just other people that have tricked me in ways that
are despicable.
Yeah.
I think for me, my story. So, I grew up shy, really shy. It's the reason why I learned how to play the keyboard. It's because I didn't want to sing in a choir in church because I was shy. I didn't want people to see my face. And I think very early on, I struggled with sort of like my own self-confidence. Like, I knew that if you put me in a room with people I'm comfortable around, I can be me. I can talk about anything. I'm confident to say my mind. But if you put me in a new room, a new territory, then I'll just shy and tend to fall back and read the room and then pick and choose how I come into play. But growing up with just a lack of confidence in myself was quite strong. And to the point where when I started music, I was like, all right, I just want to shut up. You sing, I'll play. Don't ask me no questions. As long as I'm good on the keys, you're going to be just happy that I'm there, right? And that's how I got into it. So the years went on. And I always tell my story like this. I used to live life just hopeful that everything would fall into place, that everything would work out the way you planned it. At 18, I had goals and ambitions of things that I wanted to do. And I got my first ever life disappointment when I was maybe 20, 21, when I couldn't complete one task. So it's like for most people, they go to uni around that age. I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to fly planes. I wanted to be a pilot since I was 7 years old. So naturally, that's the trajectory that I followed the path of, through school. I played music, but it wasn't even really what I wanted to do. It was just like, I have that gift. I'll do that whenever I have time, but I want to fly planes. So I went to flight school. I got my private pilot's license at the age of 19. Started flying at 18, got my PPL, went on to do my ATPLs, passed all my 14 exams. My mom was very kind to give me about 45 grand towards my training out of her life savings. She didn't have to, but flight training is very expensive, as I'm sure everybody knows. But then what happened was she ran out of money. Done. No more money for you. My mom had done really well by us. She sent us to private school. So it's not like she hadn't done everything to give us the best education. But now 45 grand, gone. The year is 2010. There was a recession in 2008. So no banks are lending money. So I'm screwed. My dreams and ambitions from age 7 out the window. That was my first ever life disappointment. I was depressed. I couldn't believe, now I'm okay. But when I was 21, I was like, I'm not going to be a pilot. Like, I was panicking. I felt like a loser. I was like, I'm not going to fly. What do you mean I'm not going to fly? What am I going to do then? What am I going to do? Like, that's all I care about. That's all I want to do. I've read that quote from, I think it was Leonardo da Vinci that said, once you taste flight, you will forever walk the earth with your head turns skywards once you've tasted flight. And that was my mindset is once I've been in a plane, I was like, I want, this is crazy what I'm going to say, but I was like, even if the worst thing happens to me up there, it'd be doing something I loved. So anyways, I couldn't fly no more. That was the first ever disappointment I had in life. And that just made me scared in a way. It made me just know that like nothing is promised or granted. Do you know what I mean? And I just kind of walked life kind of like scared that like, oh, nothing that I plan now will ever fall in place. So I'm just going to like, oh, it doesn't matter. Even if I plan it, it's not going to work anyway. So and before that, I was always like, yeah, I'm going to be a pilot. I'm going to fly for Aer Lingus or Ryanair. I'm going to be chilling. And then I'm going to go to Qatar and fly for Etihad or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then the second one was a breakup that I had with a girl I cared about. And then that one hurt a lot because we dated for nearly 7 years. So in my mind, it was kind of like, if a relationship that I put so much into, and she did as well equally, if that could break apart, it just goes to show you that nothing is permanent, dude. So how do you live life now? So do you live life just expecting the worst?
Yeah.
Or do you live life being hopeful and then when bad things happen, it really, really fucks with you? So I think I've now adopted just live life expecting the worst that may come and be prepared for it. And now I live a much chilled life. You know, my guard is not up because I'm not, like I allow people in, but I'm able to gauge how I let you in and why I'm letting you in. And as opposed to just like, hey, lovely to see you, you know, like a retriever. Oh, I love you, give me love.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
What are your objectives?
Yeah.
What am I going to get out of this?
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There's so much there to even talk about. I just watched a thing on Netflix last night, The River Runner.
Okay.
It's about a man it's whitewater rafting. He's in a kayak.
Right.
Actually, he gets into it quite late in his life.
Right.
He's got no direction. You know, his mother's got no money. They kind of move around place to place, takes drugs.
Is this in America?
Yeah. Just into crime and everything. And then he has a neighbor who's just like, I've got a kayak. Do you want to come out? And it changes his whole life.
Yeah.
He gets this like crystal vision on that one thing that he wants.
Right.
And you should watch it because it's a little bit like that where disappointments happen. It's just uncontrollable. And it's how his mindset changes. I wish I could be a little bit more like that where you're like, I just go with the flow. I put all my intentions where I want them, and whatever comes to me is meant to be, and whatever.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. You have ideas and wants. And
yeah. Are you religious?
I don't know what that even really means. But
right.
But like I have been brought. I went to Catholic school. My grandparents were Catholic. All the sayings and beliefs, and like they told me so much about fate.
Yeah.
That I totally believe that. But what does it mean? Are you religious?
That's a very good question. Should we ask Google what it means to religious? Just so we have it clear.
Define.
Yeah.
It's because people are like, oh my God, no, I'm not religious.
Yeah, I'm spiritual.
I don't want to say I'm religious.
Yeah, I'm spiritual.
But yeah, I have belief without proof. I do believe in things that I cannot see. It doesn't necessarily have to be God.
So you have faith.
Yeah.
So I've typed into Google, look at how I spell what. What does being religious mean? And as per Google, it says devoted to God or to the powers or forces believed to govern life.
Yeah.
So forces that govern life is there, powers that govern life. So it's not just God. It's really whatever you attribute to power and forces, you know. I think for me, I was brought up Christian. So I've always just kind of like had this belief in a higher power. I don't know how much I believe about creation and stuff. I don't know. Because it's very complex. But I do feel like something or someone or somebody is responsible for us being here. I mean, look at how perfect we are as a being, as a sentient being.
Yeah.
The idea that something or someone or an entity isn't responsible for this would be completely asinine, I feel. Look at how perfect we are.
Yeah.
And look at how imperfect we also are.
I know.
And look at the fact that we have the gift of thought. The only animal, if you want to call it that, on the entire planet that has the gift of thought. Like, you can bring an idea to life. You know, if monkeys could bring ideas to life, they'd be further ahead as well. They'd be where we are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, monkeys would be like making iPhones, but they can't because they don't have the idea. They don't have that gift of taking ideas and making thoughts, and, you know?
Yeah.
We're so lucky.
Do you know what I find so, I don't know if this is the right word, but unattractive?
Yeah.
Is people that have no belief.
Oh, that's so boring.
Is that nasty to say?
No, say you're on Chilling with Daps. You can say whatever you want. Say it how you want, girl.
I think those people are unintelligent.
Really?
Because they I do.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, they're unwilling to expand their linear belief.
Yeah.
They just think like, you live, you go to work every day,
you die. That is, honestly, I've heard people talk like that, you know.
Yeah.
That's a very common conception. Yeah, it's like, what's the point? You live, you work, and you die. And I'm like, life will not ever get fun for you. Like, you're here for a while.
You go to Spain once a week.
Bro, that's
all inclusive.
That's not what
Sorry,
life
once a year.
You once a year, everyone. Yeah. I was going to say if it was once a week, they actually do all right. But like, it's like, life is... So, a few weeks ago, Frankie, I went to a dark place again. No. Okay? I didn't go there on my own accord. It wasn't like, I didn't go there on like my own free will. But what had happened was, I got a little scare. A little health scare. I haven't talked about this really. Maybe 2 friends know about this. I'm 32 years old. I've never been to a GP. I've been very lucky. But around 2 months ago, something started to happen internally that I wasn't happy about. So I had to go see a GP, and they ran a bunch of tests. And thankfully, I'm okay. All right, it's not the worst that I feared. But you do fear the worst sometimes, because you do also see people your age that suffer illnesses and pass away. But anyways, the reason why I'm saying this is because it got me thinking about what we were talking about, the meaning of life. If you really did live life as we're here to live, work, and die, you wouldn't enjoy even finding your purpose. Because let's say you don't even live a long life, but in that short life, you found your purpose, and your purpose was to serve maybe others or to leave something behind that blessed people or help people. That's a life worth living. You know, I was saying to someone the other day that, like, for whatever amount of time that we spend in this world on earth, for me anyway, I want to die knowing that, I've left something. We're podcasting now, Frankie. As long as this podcast stay on the internet, they'll live forever. People 500 years from now might listen to this conversation and go, I don't know Frankie, I don't know Daps, but it seemed pretty cool.
Have you read The Chimp Paradox?
I've heard of it.
It's all about just like untraining your mind from patterns and beliefs and ways of thinking, and how like you've been brought up to believe certain things and all that. But there's like one little exercise in there, and I tell everyone this. I'm like, Dad, what do you think about this? But it's got even a little picture of a person in a bed, right? And it's like, imagine this. You are on your deathbed. You've got 1 minute left to live.
Damn.
And your great-grandchild comes in and they ask you one question. You have to answer it.
Damn.
And they say, what should I do with my life?
Fuck.
What would you say?
I've got 1 minute. First, I think you need to time me. So make this real, all right? So you have to time me.
Okay.
And so... Fuck. I feel the pressure.
Now you've got time to think.
No, I'm not even thinking. Just do it. Just do it. So ask me the question. I'm not even thinking about it. All right, cool.
You've got 1 minute left to live.
All right, cool.
What should I do with my life?
What should you do with your life? Do whatever makes you happy. Yeah.
10 seconds for that.
Yeah.
You're having a laugh. I need a bit more than that.
All right, okay, cool. Listen to yourself first before you listen to anyone. Listen to yourself first and make sure that you're okay with it first. You can listen to people. You can take advice from them. But make sure that you're happy with yourself first. You call the shots. In the end, all that matters is what you say. That's what goes. But just do what makes you happy. Life is short.
Yeah.
If you're unhappy, don't do it.
Love it.
That's it.
You've even got 10 seconds left to spare.
Okay. Beep,
that final
beep,
breath.
beep, 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 beep.
Peace.
That's a good exercise.
Do you know what? It's so good. And I did it as well, but I was like in this mental space where I do it sometimes when I'm like lying in bed at night and I'm really trying to wind down. Because as soon as I go to bed, right, I don't know if you're the same, I start thinking about all the things I could worry about.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like not let that happen. Anyway, this little exercise, it brought a tear to my eye because it was just all I wrote. I actually wrote it in the book.
Did you?
You're not meant to deface books, I know.
That's good.
It's my book.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I like when people write into books. That's kind of cool.
I'll give it to somebody in my life one day.
There you go. Yeah.
I wrote, explore, be brave, and always try to see the good in life. Wow. So that was it in a minute. Like that was it.
Be brave and try to see the good in life. That's amazing.
Then it goes on to tell you the advice you've just given your great-grandchild is the advice for yourself that you should follow.
Fuck. So are you exploring because you've just traveled? You're very brave because you're going to certain places on your own, and you definitely see the good in life.
Yeah.
For me, be happy. That's the one thing that I focus the most on is how happy am I? I need to be happy, not at the expense of others or anything else, but am I genuinely happy inside with every move and decision that I make? I tend to spend the end of my days, each day by assessing what I've done. I'm very critical of myself. Even when I do something and in the moment I'm stubborn about it, I'm right, I tend to go back home and go, you could have been a little bit more empathetic or understanding, Mm-hmm. And in that moment, people are probably terrified of me, like, fuck, I've pissed Daps off. But the thing is, Daps goes home and goes, is there a way you could have made that better?
Yeah.
Text them, call them.
Yeah. And that is what a lot of people lack. It's awareness,
it
isn't
kills
it?
me. Awareness, it eats at me, it makes me, and I think is what makes me the better person that I'm trying to be. Because, but, I just want to be happy mostly. And I think that when I said listen to yourself first is because there's so many people talking to you.
I know.
We've got 2 years, as they say, so we can listen more and talk less. And that's also a thing that allows people to talk a lot at you.
Yeah.
I think you should do this, Frankie. Frankie, I think what would be good for you is if you marry that guy. I think it'll be best for you if you bought your house there and raise your kids here and send them to that school. And it's like so many people have advice.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of them are good. But it's like, what does Frankie think? Like, what does Daps actually think?
You have to try and find a way to trust your instinct again.
Yeah.
Because over life, exactly what you've just said there. And it depends what pedestal you put those people on, if you do put them on a pedestal. But I have people in my family that, if they said walk over hot coals, I would do it. Yeah. And I don't think that's really a good thing. I want to say, no, do it yourself. But you do, I've so many times in my life, I've put my wants and needs and beliefs and desires and everything behind that of somebody else because I think they're more important.
They're more important, yeah. So you would make a good religious leader,
Would I?
Yeah, you would. Because that's the whole concept of Jesus. That's his whole belief is, be a servant to people, serve people first. Though it's not, being a leader is about being of service to people. It's not about expecting service from them. It's about, there was a whole story in the Bible where Jesus actually went down and washed his disciples' feet after a long journey, which is in that period it was seen to be wow, how can the boss stoop so low to service the people that work with him or work for him, But his message was, I have to, because instead of putting my feet up and expecting them to do it for me, I lead by example by showing them first,
Yeah. His disciples were obviously nice people that didn't want to take advantage.
Yeah, right.
Because they could have got used to that service.
They could have gone, Jesus, hey, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday. What you doing? Stop working on water.
Pick the fluff out of my
Yeah. Stop turning 5 breads into 5,000 bread, man, and get to work. Stop turning water into wine.
Unless you're bringing me a glass.
Yeah. No, they must have loved that though. Like that turning water into wine. They must have loved that. I would have loved that trip.
I would have loved that.
I would have loved that. Like I'd have been like, do you do birthdays? Because it was in a wedding. I'm like, do you do birthdays?
And the pots were like,
yeah. My question about that though is that I always ask religious people and they get mad at me because I'm a Christian. So when it's coming from me, it's like they're even more disappointed. Yeah. I'm like, how good was the wine? Like, are we talking red or white? Like, was it rosy? Like, how good was the wine? You know, like, I bet Jesus makes some good wine.
Don't know about you, but you know, in communion, when everybody goes forward for their bread and wine, I'm like, I don't want to drink out the same cup as everybody else.
I mean, like, the vicar always like wipes it, but really, how much is it wiping it off? Like,
I know. What about that backslosh thing?
Nah,
exactly.
Not a chance. That's why I'm not Catholic. I feel like Catholicism to me is like too culty.
Oh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know, like, because think about it like this. Yeah, they put a lot of emphasis on Mary as well, and it's like, wait, are we here for Mary or are we here for Jesus? Who are we here for? Because Holy Mary, full of God, the Lord bless you. All this stuff is like lovely. That's religion to me. That's not Jesus. You know, and that's what made Martin Luther really fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Martin Luther like wrote to the Pope, for those who may not be familiar, but you know, Martin Luther lived around 500 years ago. And he was the guy that was kind of like in part responsible for the Enlightenment, where he challenged the church, the Catholic Church, about, you know, life after death. And what do they call it when people die and they go to a place called purgatory? It's like, what does that mean? That doesn't make any sense. That's something you made up. That's not what the Bible says.
Yeah.
So get rid of that because that's bullshit, number one. And number two, why are you guys all wearing ropes and just knocking around like wizards? Like, what's all this shit, you know? Hey guys, thanks for tuning into this episode. I really hope that you're enjoying it. Now, I've got a message for potential sponsors. If you're an individual or a business and you'd like to sponsor an episode of Chilling with Daps, please get in touch with us now. We'd like to hear from you. We've got several packages on offer, and you can reach out to us on Instagram at Init Studios, which is INNIT Studios, or you can DM Daps on Instagram at DAPSINNIT. Now let's get back to the show. And all these rules that you've made, and he really, really, really challenged them. And then obviously he got excommunicated, and then he started like this kind of like almost what became Pentecostal or Protestant idea. Well, I would say more Protestant because it was protesting Catholicism, and then that then created the Methodist branch and the Baptist and all of that. But Martin Luther was the guy that was first like, this is nonsense. I don't hear a lot of Jesus. I hear a lot of your Pope and all these do you know what I mean? The hierarchy of men that run the church. That's not what it should be. It should be about the person that we're trying to serve, which is Jesus. Jesus' message was very simple to the disciples. When he left, he said, just go into the world and spread my message, not talk about my mom, Mary.
Yeah.
It's weird.
A lot about control, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I said to you before, like my grandparents were Catholic, and I think for them it was a survival mode. You know, nowadays everybody's going to therapy and counselling. And I sometimes think if you just went to church, you'd get the same thing because it's a bit of structure and a bit of respect and understanding that you're not a victim. Everybody is
just going through the same thing.
Yeah. And like my dad growing up was forced to go to Sunday school and the summer schools, and he's constantly in the church. So he wanted a really different approach for us. Me and my sister growing up, he was like, I'm not going to mention it.
Wow.
Because he said it literally got rammed down our throats so much that we wanted to rebel against it. We didn't want to listen to what they had to say. We wanted to have our own ideas. So that's what he was like for us. And actually we were christened Methodist.
Wow.
But obviously it depends how you're brought up as well. We've still got a lot of the practices.
That's one thing as well that always kind of like, even for me as a Christian, is like, why is there so many denominations of churches? Like you've got the Church of England, Methodist, Baptist, this and that, the African church, this one church. It's like, it's because everyone wants their own little thing. Everyone wants their own little cult. At the end of the day, religion is a cult in a way, if you think about it. In a way, you know, and this is a controversial thing for me to say because, you know, when you start thinking about what is a cult, in its simplest form, a cult is sort of like a gathering of people that are so, invested in an idea to the point where they don't listen to anything else. When I go, like, when you cross that threshold of I'm religious to I'm an extremist religious person, you're a cultist.
I know.
Because I can't tell you anything that you can't take with a grain of salt. For instance, like if I told you, oh, I'm not really sure about that, you're going to fight me. You're going to, blah, 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 and I don't like you now. You're an enemy to me. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, even as a Christian, if you tell me certain things, I'm open. I don't know. You don't know. You're just expressing your views.
The only thing I can relate this to, it's not religion, it's the gym.
Yeah.
And it was when lockdown was happening.
Yeah.
Excuse me for saying that horrible word.
Oh.
But there was nothing else open and I was working from home. I felt like trapped all of a sudden in my house. And the only thing that was open was that famous gym. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I started going there. It was a friend who was like, you should come, you know, it's great, blah, blah, blah. You'll get abs and all this. And you're in the door and that is it. They've got you because they're like, you need to come at least 5 times a week to notice any kind of difference, any kind of fitness. Then it's like, oh, you haven't got the right shoes. You want to fit in with everybody else. My shoes weren't flat enough. My shoes were too spongy to do whatever squats. Or you had to buy these things that everybody had on their wrists to keep their wrists strong. And then I was there on a Saturday morning at like 7 a.m. So on the Friday night, I actually couldn't really eat what I wanted because I didn't want to feel it coming back up my throat on the Saturday morning on the bike. It really began to control like choices I was making in my life. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I thought I was coming here to get stronger for a start. Why do I need to wear your stupid wrist supports and your back supports and your God knows what? Probably because it's actually not really great what we're doing.
Yeah.
I eat everything in sight. I've got no restriction on my life in that regard at all, but I felt like really controlled by them.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start to pull back a little bit, they do ostracize you and then you're like, I don't belong here. Really don't belong here.
Yeah.
I'm not on Instagram with my bra top on and my, a tiny little shorts. I'm literally wearing a shirt I've dragged out the bottom of my drawer to exercise in. You had to have all the things that they had to
fit in.
And they would always be like, anyone's welcome here. It's all about anyone.
That's how they get you first. Then you're in there.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, the moment you start to say, oh, I'm not so sure about this, and they start to try and make an example of you, they'll be like, well, this one doesn't listen. And you know what happens when no one listens? We put them in the dungeon downstairs and lock them off and throw the key away.
Yeah, right. Because as well, they're writing like code on the board. So you're like, hold on, what does that even mean? And I'm not like prudish in any way about a gym. My dad and my sister powerlifted for their whole lives. I've been around gyms with them everywhere. I've watched them compete. They're very strong people. Then I'm in the gym and I'm like, I don't understand what 2 times X equals YZ is. And they're like, why don't you know? Have you not been listening? And I'm like,
no.
I've actually come here paying a lot of money to be told what to do.
Yeah. Not to like understand flipping
Sanskrit.
Hieroglyphics, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, but you do force yourself to do. I did endure that for a long time.
Would you go back in there and like as an undercover and film a documentary?
I don't know. Why? Go and ask Stacey Dooley.
I might just like get a membership and just like
get involved.
Make
sure you've got the right shoes.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I've got the right shoes some days because I want to be ostracized. I want them to like kick me to the curb.
Yeah.
I want them to haul insult and abuse at me whilst I'm holding I'm wearing like the chest mic and like I've got like...
Oh no, you've got to take your top off.
You have to
You wouldn't even be able to like hide a wire. All the men have got the tops off.
Not my top.
It's just like part of the thing.
Hey, you can't see my pecs. I'm not comfortable showing my pecs to just anyone.
Oh, God.
That's crazy.
I know. So yeah, that was the...
That's wild.
Lockdown. Actually ended up taking some equipment home. That was one good thing that they did because it did fully lock down after that. So I remember being in the garage trying to do like, I don't know. But it's hard, isn't it, when you're on your own because you're like, I don't know the form. I don't really know if my back should be going in that direction.
Yeah. I think that's where it takes years to kind of like just develop it on your own. I'm definitely up for like, when I can't afford to do it, having my own private gym. Because I don't enjoy going to gyms as much for the simple fact that I make friends really easily. And so what happens is you become that popular guy in the gym and then you're not working out. You just, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just, it's too easy for me to make friends with people, just smiling at them and just, hey, how you doing? You're all right. And then they're my friend now.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you go there, you're not working out, you're spending 2 hours talking nonsense.
See, that's the friend I need. I actually started taking my dad to the gym with us because he's just gone partially retired at the beginning of this year. So I was like, you come with me. You show me how to lift things. But, you know, he's obviously set in his ways about what he knows. And it was just the 3 powerlifting lifts. That's all you need to do. Deadlift, bench press, and squat or something. It's a full body workout.
Wow.
So then the times when he wasn't there, I was like, I
Just
don't
on
know
your
what
own.
to do.
Yeah.
Because he would also build up the weights incrementally and it was like proper training.
That's good. I love that your dad is very present. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that every child needs. A daughter having a dad is beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that deadlifting is a terrifying one because of your back.
I love deadlifting.
Do you?
Yeah, that's probably my favourite one.
Yeah. How much do you deadlift?
Actually got up to 50 kilos, which I think's good.
Damn, including like the bar?
Yeah.
Flipping out.
Because, well, it's not heavy really, is it?
Not really, no,
I'm
but
about
like
63. So
that's what I'm saying. So you're lifting nearly your weight.
Yeah. I managed to bench press 30 kilos, which is quite heavy.
You bench press 30 kg.
Yeah.
So that's 20.
My dad's like this boom with 100.
So that's 20 and 5 5s.
Yeah.
So your dad must be really strong then.
Yeah. He's always been active. And interested in every kind of exercise.
So what's your mom like then? Does she train as well? She a trainer or not a trainer?
It's my stepmom and no, not really. She's
not really big into it.
No, but they love gardening. So
but that'll do it. That'll make you sweat.
Yeah.
She would sweat. And is your sister big into it as well? Or?
Yeah. Her life's changed a lot not recently, but over the years because she's got 2 small children.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to try and prioritize your own self.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's back in the gym, and to be honest, she's still got some world records now that she got when she was like 17.
So. Damn. So you've come from a family of like
strong
people. It might be that Italian,
Well, my nana was Italian and my granddad was Polish.
Yeah, so you've come from resilience.
Yeah, they were farmers. They were like really
strong people, especially the Polish. What? Mm-hmm. Anyone that had to evade Russians. Well, they had to,
They marched over countries on.
No, sorry, not my bad. Not Russia. It was Germany that they were trying to fight off.
Yes. And there was it was like Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it was like all of that. Well, to be fair, there was Russia as well at one point. Then it was Germany more recently in World War II. And then the Italians have and one thing, the Italians live a long life.
Yeah.
I don't know how they just managed to live a long life and looking young as well while doing it.
It's apparently it's the diet.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
You're supposed to eat food as close to its natural form as possible. Yeah.
And so that's why they make everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Like the pasta is like made and cut it all out.
Yeah,
they do everything
but even pasta is something processed. Like I was watching a program about it and it was talking about fish.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Icelandic people will just eat the fish when it comes out of the water.
That's terrifying.
And then it gets to England and it's been dipped in batter like 6 times and fried 3 times.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I'm not saying this like, I don't weigh food like some people. Count macros. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
But I am specific about what I eat. I won't just eat.
Yeah. So what's your dieting like at the moment? Like, what do you eat? Like
everything.
Yeah.
But I wake up starving. Like a lot of, when I talk to people at work, they're like, I can't have breakfast before I start work. I literally just live off coffee. And I'm like, that's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I wake up hungry and I have to eat protein. It's like eggs straight away. This is my favorite thing that I'm like, I've been eating this for months now.
All right, cool, let's go.
It's a wrap.
Right.
Like a tortilla wrap.
Okay.
Put it on the flame so it's a little bit warm and like
right,
crunchy.
Yeah. I do that as well, to be fair. Okay.
Yeah. On the gas hob.
Yeah.
Then chop up loads of red cabbage.
Right.
With coriander.
Right.
So like mash it all up with a knife.
Right.
Get it all like together.
Yeah.
Bit of lemon juice.
Damn.
Put that on the wrap. Then the egg. Scrambled egg. Loads of cheese. And
what
then,
kind
like,
of cheese? What kind of cheese?
Sauce.
Just any kind of cheese,
cheddar.
like cheddar.
Just like a white cheddar.
Right.
And loads of spicy sauce, like anything peri-peri. Anything spicy.
You like your spicy food on?
Yeah, it's got to be like vinegary, spicy, and the cabbage has got the crunch, and it's like fresh, and it's like
your
ruffled.
eggs.
It's all good for you.
Yeah.
And it's filling. Like if I ate a bowl of cereal, I'd be starving.
You'd be starving,
by an hour
yeah.
later.
And I think something with the milk or dairy sometimes make you feel sleepy and tired. I feel sometimes. But like I like that whole idea with the cabbage and the coriander on the eggs. And
do you know what got us onto
well.
it? I made it up because my friend was coming over who was vegan, and I'm like, oh my God, why do you cook a vegan? So I started looking at recipes and I found vegan tacos, and I did this whole shebang where you roast kiwi as well. You roast kiwi and tomatoes, and you like scoop the kiwi out and you make a lush salsa. So it was so many different flavors. It was like garlicky, sweet, so lush. And all that red cabbage. So when she went and like the next morning, I still had loads of sliced red cabbage in the fridge. I was like, that's going in my breakfast.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that's how you came up with it.
But I've explained this, my friend's mum, who I was talking to, she's about to become retired, and she's like, I need to be healthier. I need to do more exercise. I need to eat better. And I was like, you need to prioritize it. You need to make a list of things that you know you're going to enjoy. Think about like what nutrition you're going to get from it. Do you want to feel full? Do you want to have like a sweet breakfast? Do you want to eat muesli? Or like we're talking all about it. And I told her about that breakfast. And she was like, ooh, I can't eat cabbage in the morning. I was like, all right, forget everything I've said then. So you're clearly not going to listen.
Well, is that thing about like, necessity is a mother of invention, isn't it? It's like what you have is, well, in this particular instance, you actually had stuff in the fridge and you just put it all together. It's like no wastage.
Yeah.
Everything makes it into my meal.
Waste.
Yeah. It's like, but what do you feed a vegan is a very good question. I had a vegan come to my house the other day and they said, hey, I'm hungry. So I just get them a bottle of water. I was like, here you go, it's clean.
Stop it.
And they looked at me really weird.
Did that wouldn't fill anybody's stomach.
It depends on how much you drink.
You've got vegans then who will just eat lots of processed stuff too.
Yeah.
Like the fake chicken, the fake
sausages,
tofu. The butter.
Yeah.
Which is not butter.
Yeah.
Just loads of chemicals made to look like butter.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. And I think like, okay, you think you're healthy because you're vegan, but...
Yeah. I've seen vegans that are...
We're being very controversial here, I've got to say. People are going to hate us.
That's what this podcast is about. Okay. Everyone needs to know that this podcast exists, and the only way they're going to find out is by being controversial. And I've seen vegans that are like a lot thicker than me. Like thicker. And I've thought, hang on, if you're eating all that vegetable and all that stuff, how are you
pea protein?
3 times, how are you 3 times my size? And it's just chemicals will chemical in your body. Like if you put things into your body that are processed, so processed sugar is the problem, not sugar. Well, it won't be called sugar, it'll be sucrose in its natural form. If you're having honey, which is sweet, or the natural sugars from a grapefruit or whatever, that's good. It's the processing of it and then putting it into cakes and biscuits. And that's what the problem is, because it's an astronomical amount of it that you're putting into your body. And if you're eating like 4 biscuits, you've done so much damage to your body, you don't even know.
It's addictive.
It's crazy.
I think that's the problem. It is addictive.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have it, you need more and more.
You want more.
And it gives you that instant satisfaction, doesn't it?
Oh,
like that feeling of fullness.
Yeah. What's the thing that you're most addicted to? Is it a food? Is it a habit? Like, what's the thing that you like?
I am very particular.
Yeah.
With like my routines.
Yeah.
I like to be healthy, so I don't think I'm addicted to anything.
Yeah. For a while for me, this is embarrassing, but it was, it used to be like, Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And so you say because that's healthy, but it's what I mix it with.
What with? Like Nutella?
Worse. You know those chocolate digestive biscuits?
Yeah.
So I'd put a whole bowl of Greek yogurt like into a bowl, or a whole plastic into a bowl, and then I'll get like 8.
8. Okay.
And I'll just immerse it into the thing, right, into the bowl. And it's the mixture of how Greek yogurt tastes, just the bitterness and whatever, and the sweetness. And it was just a perfect, it's probably,
horrible.
Yeah.
Does it not go soggy?
So you have to eat it quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't be wasting about it. You can't put it down and take a phone call. Like if you call me, I'm not taking your call in that moment. I'll have to eat it fast, But it doesn't really go soggy, and you just like eating it, and it's nice. And it's like, this is the greatest dessert invented. Because it's yogurt, which is obviously, healthy and its own thing, and then sweet, and it's just perfect. People should try it. It's mad.
It's disgusting. It literally sounds horrible. There's so many things you can eat that
I'm not addicted to it. So do you know I've not done that this year?
Okay.
Oh, in 2024, not even once.
Right.
Because coming into this year, I was very, very, very strong about that. I've not had sugar in my house. I've had sweet things, but sugar hasn't been in my house in 2024.
Yeah.
Yogurt and, like flipping digestives has not been. So
you can have anything you want. You can, and I don't want to like sound strict or ridiculous because I'm absolutely not. I eat anything and everything I want, and I drink wine like it's going out of fashion. But there is, especially like because I've got two young, I've got Archer and Mila who are my niece and nephew, and I just see them on the sweets, and I'm like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
But they're just kids and they burn it off and they'll get other habits as life goes on as well.
Yeah.
So you can't be too strict. You can have a little bit of what you want.
100%. I like that, Frankie. It's true. You can have a little bit of what you want.
You can.
What do I want right now? To be fair, I'm full. I went to like a really healthy place this morning. So I had like potatoes, like sweet potatoes with some broccoli and some beef and like a cacao smoothie. We just chilled, I feel great. But getting onto music a little bit before we finish up. So are you writing anything at the moment? Is that something that you want to explore? Like writing music and putting it out, or?
Definitely, but it's a very long process. There's absolutely no rush for me whatsoever to produce anything because I care about it so much and it is precious. And because I've showed you like a tiny clip of a song, which was like 10 seconds, that it's like your baby and you do protect it because you think, I can't hide with that. It's who I am. And if people don't love it, then I'm going to die.
Yeah.
You take it really personally.
If they don't appreciate it in the way that I thought it up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But I have got a vision. And this is what I was sitting recently having dinner with some friends and they were like, oh my God, when are you going to do singing full time? And I was like, I know exactly what I want. I just don't profess it enough. So that is one of my goals. When you ask me questions like that, I want to answer it with total conviction.
Of exactly what the plan is and how you're going to execute it. Yeah.
So I don't really like to, kind of talk about things that aren't.
Yeah. In the stratosphere of reality. The realm of reality at the moment. Yeah, that's fair enough. But like the music that you do that people know you for, it's more corporate stuff. It's like weddings and stuff. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, beautiful occasions. When I started that, I was like, life is hard and I'm done with it being hard now. I want to be in places where people are happy, where I'm happy, where I'm wanted, and they're just beautiful occasions. People are so grateful for you to be there. I sing songs that people know in a different way. It's always my own style. I probably hear a song once or twice and I'm like, right, I'm going to sing that. And then I forget about how it sounded and I'll just sing it how I want. Yeah, there's so much more work I could do on that, believe me. And how far I've come since I started doing it almost 2 years ago, is unbelievable. I have to kind of remind myself of that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always singing. Just have to look after the pipes.
You have to look after the pipes, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you think, would you like to get busier than you are now? Or do you think that you're the right amount of busy with it?
Yeah, I think I don't want to be busy where I'm like a crazy person, where I can't actually cope because I want to be able to give a quality performance every single time. And for that, you have to feel so rooted. You can't be flitting from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. You've got to be really centered. And even that comes into my personal life. I'll say, I'm not having a late night tonight because I'm singing tomorrow and it's really important to us. There's a lot of commitment that goes into it. But yeah, I would love to be busier. I would love to be... It's what you were saying before about getting the record deal and that kind of thing. I've never wanted that. It's not about conquering the world. It's about conquering what I can control, where I live, where I'm from, being, a known person in my area as somebody that is professional, respectable, always does the best performance, has a personality. That's all I really want.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
Book me, people.
Yeah, hey, book my friend Frankie. She is really good. Wow. This has been really fun talking, man. This has been a ton of fun. I feel like there's probably things that, because like when we talk, we just we just ramble on about different things, But I think there's so much more we could talk about. But I think we've given people enough today about us. Yeah. So maybe we'll finish it up right here.
We did spend a minute holding our breath. Oh, no.
We did spend a minute.
3 seconds.
No, well, you did for 3 seconds. Although now that I know how competitive you are, if we were to do it again, I'll probably beat you.
It's because I was laughing a little bit.
Yeah. I was making you laugh, by the way. I was kind of like, yeah. And you kept one eye open as well. That made me nearly laugh. But everybody go follow Frankie Taylor on Instagram and every platform. Are you on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, on YouTube as well.
The same. Frankie Taylor sings.
How about Spotify?
No.
Okay, cool. Everywhere, YouTube, Instagram, all the platforms. Yeah. Give her a follow, listen to her music. And look, if you are planning on getting married, you want Frankie there. You need someone who's going to make your day the best it can be. So please book her. But thanks everyone for watching, listening, and all of that good stuff. Oh, and also if you have any questions for Frankie that you feel I didn't ask, then feel free to leave your comments below because Frankie will be in the comments and she can answer them for you. All right. Thank you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.